In a world of loud performances and larger-than-life stars, one actor has mastered the art of silence. His eyes speak before his words do. His presence unsettles, captivates, and lingers long after the credits roll. He is the man who terrified us in There Will Be Blood, broke our hearts in Prisoners, and surprised the world as the Riddler in The Batman. This is the story of Paul Dano, the quiet genius redefining modern acting. Paul Franklin Dano was born on June 19, 1984, in New York City. Unlike many actors who stumbled into Hollywood by accident, Paul began performing early, not for fame, but out of pure love for storytelling. At just 12 years old, he stepped onto Broadway. Audiences saw something rare, a child who acted with the emotional weight of an adult. Teachers described him as gentle, observant, and unusually mature, qualities that would someday become his trademark. Paul Dano's film career started quietly, small roles in The Newcomers, LIE, and The Girl Next Door. But Hollywood soon realized he wasn't just another young actor. He didn't chase stardom. He chased complexity. Broken people, lonely people, people society tries not to see. Directors saw an actor who disappeared into every role, someone who didn't perform characters but became them. In 2006, everything changed. Paul Dano played Dwayne, a teenager who vowed not to speak until he became a pilot. For half the film, he said nothing, yet every expression spoke volumes. When his dream shatters and he breaks his silence with a scream, audiences felt his pain like it was their own. That one scene proved silence can be louder than dialogue. Hollywood had found its quiet powerhouse. Then came the film that would cement his legacy. In 2007, Paul Dano was cast in There Will Be Blood, but originally only in a small role. When another actor dropped out days before shooting, director Paul Thomas Anderson turned to Dano and said, "Can you play both brothers?" Paul said yes, without preparation time, without fear. Opposite Daniel Day-Lewis, perhaps the greatest actor alive, Paul Dano delivered a performance so intense, so emotional. It became legendary. Their church confrontation, their final scene in the bowling alley, these moments are studied in film schools today. Paul Dano didn't just act. He matched Daniel Day-Lewis blow for blow. Years later, in Prisoners, Paul Dano showed a different kind of horror. He barely spoke. His voice was quiet, trembling, but the terror he created was unforgettable. Many viewers said they had to look away during his scenes, not because of violence, but because of how real Paul made the character feel. He proved again, the scariest villains aren't loud. They are calm, controlled, human. In 2022, Paul Dano stepped into a role no one expected, the Riddler. Gone was the cartoonish villain of old Batman movies. Paul delivered something chilling, modern, disturbingly believable. A villain shaped by loneliness, intelligence, and rage. A villain you could almost understand. Critics said, Paul Dano reinvented the Riddler for an entire generation. But Paul Dano isn't just an actor. In 2018, he wrote and directed Wildlife, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Carey Mulligan. The film was quiet, slow, emotional, just like Paul himself. It explored broken families, loneliness, and the weight of expectation. Critics called it a stunning directorial debut, proof that Paul Dano sees the world differently and wants to share that vision with us. Paul Dano is not a celebrity. He's an artist, a man who chooses characters no one else would dare to play. He doesn't need explosions, dramatic speeches, or spotlight. His greatest weapon has always been subtlety. In a Hollywood obsessed with noise, Paul Dano whispers. And somehow, We all hear him. This is Paul Dano, the quiet genius of Hollywood, a man who proves that the most powerful performances often come from the softest voices.
Paul Dano is unlike anyone else in Hollywood, and that's exactly why his story deserves to be told. If you want more documentaries like this, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment which actor we should cover next. Your support helps this channel grow. See you in the next video.